Right now, inside your head, a tiny pressure is building that you cannot feel yet. It grows with every hour you stay awake, like sand piling up in a glass. Sleep is your only way to empty it. So what happens if you never tip the glass over? If you stayed awake, fully awake, for 7 days straight? At first, you would just feel tired. But your brain has a hard limit, and as the days stack up, it begins to break its own rules. You would start blinking out for seconds without knowing it. You would see things that are not there. You might feel certain that someone is standing behind you, in an empty room. By the end, the line between awake and dreaming would dissolve completely, while your eyes stayed wide open. And the strangest part is this. Long before a week is up, your brain would start forcing sleep onto you in tiny, invisible bursts, whether you allow it or not. Your body simply will not let you win. This is what happens day by day inside a brain that refuses to sleep, and it starts faster than you would ever guess. To understand why sleep is non-negotiable, you have to meet a tiny molecule called adenosine. Every moment you are awake, your busy brain cells burn fuel, and as a byproduct, they release adenosines into the spaces between them. Think of it as exhaust smoke from a running engine. The longer the engine runs, the thicker the smoke gets. Adenosine settles onto your neurons and gently slows them down. The more it builds up, the sleepier you feel. This rising tide is what scientists call sleep pressure, and it is the real reason your eyelids get heavy at night. Coffee feels like a miracle because caffeine simply plugs the docking spots where adenosine lands, hiding the smoke for a few hours. But hiding it is not the same as clearing it. The only thing that truly empties the adenosine is sleep itself. And while you sleep, something even more important happens. Your brain runs a nightly cleaning crew. During deep sleep, channels open up and a watery fluid washes through your brain tissue, flushing out the waste that piled up all day, including the very proteins linked to long-term brain damage. Sleep is when your brain takes out the trash. So picture what happens if you never let that cleaning crew clock in. The adenosine smoke keeps thickening. The trash keeps piling up in the hallways. Your neurons get slower, dirtier, and more desperate for rest with every passing hour. For a single night, this is harmless. You can recover easily. But you are not stopping after one night. You have 6 more days to go. And the first 24 hours do something to your brain that is shockingly easy to measure. After about 24 hours awake, your brain is impaired in a way you would recognize instantly in someone else. You are, in effect, drunk. Studies have measured this carefully. Stay awake for around a full day, and your reaction time, focus, and coordination drop to about the level of someone over the legal drink driving limit, without a single sip of alcohol. The first thing to suffer is your attention. Your brain starts having lapses, tiny gaps where it simply stops processing the world. You read the same sentence 3 times. You walk into a room and forget why. Your eyes are open, but the lights flicker. These are the warning tremors before the real event. Then come the micro-sleeps. A micro-sleep is exactly what it sounds like. A burst of real sleep, lasting just a few seconds, that crashes over you without permission. Your eyes may even stay open. For 1 to 10 seconds, your brain goes offline, sees nothing, and registers nothing, then snaps back as if nothing happened. This is terrifying behind the wheel of a car. A driver in a micro-sleep travels the length of a football field completely blind and never knows it. This is why drowsy driving kills so many people. Your brain stole a nap and did not ask you. On day 1, you can still mostly fight this. You can stand up, splash water on your face, push through. Your thoughts are slow and your mood is fraying, but you are still you. The pressure is heavy, yet your mind is holding together. But the cleaning crew still has not clocked in. The adenosine is still rising. And as you cross into the second day, your own body stops cooperating and starts to rebel against you. By 48 hours, the microsleeps stop being occasional and become relentless. Your brain is now so desperate that it begins doing something genuinely strange. It puts itself to sleep in pieces while you are still standing up. Scientists call this local sleep. Picture your brain as a giant office full of workers. Normally, they all clock out together at night. But under extreme sleep pressure, individual workers start nodding off at their desks, one here, one there, even while the office is technically open. Patches of neurons drop offline for a moment, then wake, while the rest of the brain carries on. You feel this as bizarre mistakes, reaching for a cup and knocking it over, saying a word that makes no sense. Parts of your mind are literally asleep while you believe you are awake. Your body suffers too, because sleep is not just for the brain. Your immune system starts to buckle. The cells that hunt viruses and damaged tissue drop in number, and markers of inflammation climb. After just 1 or 2 sleepless nights, your defenses look like those of someone getting sick. This is why people who sleep badly catch every cold going around. Your emotions, meanwhile, come off the leash. Deep in your brain sits the amygdala, your alarm bell for fear and anger. Sleep keeps a calm manager, the prefrontal cortex, with a hand on its volume knob. But sleep loss cuts that connection. The alarm bell rings far louder, with no one to turn it down. So on day 2 you swing wildly, laughing 1 minute, snapping or near tears the next, over nothing. You feel raw, jittery, and strange. And this is only the halfway point. Because on day 3, the damage climbs from your body up into your mind, and the world itself starts to bend. Around 72 hours, the part of you that suffers most is the front of your brain, the prefrontal cortex, your center for logic, planning, and judgment. It is the most demanding region you have, and it is the first to fail under starvation of sleep. As it dims, you lose the ability to hold a simple plan in mind, to do basic math, or to tell a good idea from a terrible one. Conversations slip away from you mid-sentence. And now the world begins to play tricks. With the brain exhausted and its filters failing, the line between what is real and what is imagined gets blurry. Hallucinations begin. At first they are gentle and easy to dismiss. Surfaces seem to shimmer or breathe. Colors look too bright. Shadows in the corner of your eye twitch as if alive. You might see a bug scurry across the floor that is not there, or hear your name called from an empty room. There is a famous, eerie symptom that often appears, the feeling of a presence, a deep, Certain sense that someone is standing just behind you or beside you, watching, even when you know the room is empty. Your exhausted brain is misreading its own signals and inventing a person. It is the same machinery that builds the vivid worlds of your dreams, except now it is leaking into your waking eyes. Time also warps. Minutes stretch like hours, or whole chunks of the day vanish with no memory of them. You feel detached, as if watching yourself from outside, wrapped in a thick fog. This is the brain on the edge of forcing a shutdown by any means necessary. And if you somehow push past it into day 4 and 5, those leaking dreams stop being flickers at the edge and move to the center of everything. This is where it becomes a kind of waking psychosis. By 4 to 5 days without sleep, many people enter what doctors call sleep deprivation psychosis. The hallucinations are no longer subtle hints. They become full, convincing scenes layered right over reality. People report seeing figures who are not there, holding conversations with them, watching walls melt or objects transform. The dreaming brain has simply stopped waiting for you to close your eyes. Alongside the visions comes paranoia, because the calm, reasoning front of the brain has gone quiet. There is nothing left to talk you down from frightening thoughts. Small worries balloon into certainty. You may become convinced that people are plotting against you, or that ordinary objects carry hidden threats. Your mind has lost its fact checker. This is not madness in the usual sense. It is your sleep-starved brain doing the only thing it can, blurring waking and dreaming together because it can no longer keep them apart. In a real sense, you begin dreaming with your eyes open while half believing the dream. And through all of this, the microsleeps have become a constant, losing battle. Your brain is now seizing sleep in stolen seconds, dozens of times an hour, mid-sentence, mid-step, mid-stare. You blink and lose a moment. You stand still and your knees buckle as a patch of brain goes dark. This is the key truth about going 7 days without sleep. Your willpower is not actually in charge anymore. Your brain has quietly seized control of the steering wheel, forcing rest in tiny doses against your wishes, because the alternative is collapse. Which raises the question almost everyone asks about this. If you truly fought it, refused every microsleep, could a week with no sleep at all actually kill you? The answer is stranger than a simple yes or no. The longest, carefully documented case of staying awake belongs to a 17-year-old named Randy Gardner, who in 1964 went about 11 days without sleep for a science fair. By the end, he was hallucinating, paranoid, slurring, and unable to do simple tasks or remember what he had just said. His mind was in tatters, yet, remarkably, after he finally slept, he recovered without obvious lasting harm. So, a week awake will wreck how you think. But for a healthy person, it does not appear to be directly fatal. But here is the catch, and it is the whole point. The reason it likely will not kill you is that your brain will not actually let you stay fully awake that long. The microsleeps win. Long before any true 7-day mark, your brain forces enough scraps of sleep to keep the body limping along. You cannot truly will yourself past your own biology. What about total perfect sleeplessness with no microsleeps at all? We only have a grim hint from animals. In old experiments, rats kept completely awake by force died in around 2 weeks, their bodies failing in ways scientists still debate, from temperature control to a collapsing immune system. And there is one rare human disease, a genetic prion illness, that slowly destroys the brain's ability to sleep at all, and it is always fatal. It shows, chillingly, that a brain that truly cannot sleep cannot keep a body alive. So the honest answer is this: you almost certainly could not stay awake for 7 straight days by willpower, because your brain would overrule you. But if you somehow could, you would be pushing toward a place the human body is simply not built to survive. Sleep is not a luxury. It is a life support system. The good news is how quickly that system can be switched back on. Here is the hopeful twist after all that horror. Your brain is astonishingly good at bouncing back. You might assume that after a week awake, you would need a week of sleep to repay the debt, hour for hour. But that is not how it works. Your brain does not count the hours. It counts what kind of sleep it gets. When you finally collapse into bed after extreme sleep loss, your brain does something clever. It does not sleep normally. Instead, it dives almost straight into the deepest, most restorative stage and stays there far longer than usual. It triages, grabbing the most valuable repair work first. This is called sleep rebound. One single long, deep night can clear away most of that towering adenosine pressure and let the cleaning crew finally flush out the days of accumulated waste. The hallucinations vanish, the fog lifts, the world snaps back into focus. You may still feel groggy and off for a day or two, and your memory of the sleepless stretch will be patchy and dreamlike. But the core of you returns. The figures in the corner are gone. The presence behind you disappears. Your reasoning, your calm, and your judgment come back online. This is the quiet miracle your brain performs every single night, on a smaller scale, while you lie unconscious and unaware. It empties the pressure, scrubs the hallways, resets your emotions, and rebuilds your mind for another day. You never thank it, because you never even notice. Which is the real lesson hiding inside 7 sleepless days. The most important thing your brain does, it does in the dark, when you are not there to watch. So what happens if you don't sleep for 7 days? Your brain fills with pressure it cannot release. Your body's defenses crumble, and one by one your mind's filters fail, until you are dreaming with your eyes open and your own brain wrestles the controls away from you to force the rest you refused. And then a single deep night quietly undoes most of it, reminding you that sleep was never wasted time. It was the repair shift that keeps the whole machine running. Next time, we trade the dark for the desert. How long can your body actually survive with no water at all? And what breaks down first as the last drops run dry? The countdown is shorter than you think. This was Doodle Anatomy.